Hello and welcome guys to another video, and today we are going to be having a look at a track guide for ZANDAVOORT. If you're looking to get the setups and data for the McLaren, the link is in the description down below, along with the link to the hot lap video as well. Now we're going to be doing the track guide a bit different today, so let me know in the comments down below if you prefer this style or if you would rather we go back to the old style that I did previous track guides with. So let's jump straight into it after the intro. So starting off the lap, what's really important to remember with ZANDAVOORT is it's a lot of flowing corners, so you want to try and carry the speed through a lot of these corners as much as you can. For setup wise, you've got to have something that's quite high downforce, and do a decent amount of work on your dampers as well, because they are very important here, getting the dampers right. So coming into the first corner here, now our braking point that we're going to be looking for is this, the 100 meter board, this sign here telling you that it's a hairpin coming up, and this white line. All of them can be used as a braking marker. Most people just use the white line, but if for some reason like it's dark or something you can't see the white line, you can use the 100 meter board, or you could use this sign here as your braking marker. So you want to trail the brakes all the way into the first corner, and since it's a hairpin, you kind of want to take a V line through it. So as you see, you come in tight as you come into the corner, and then let it go out wide, and then bring it back in a bit tighter on the second part of the hairpin. Then let it go out wide. You can use a bit of this run off here just after the curb. Just be careful because it's very easy just to overdo it and go into the gravel. Now coming up to one of the more tricky sections of corners on the track, coming into it, you want to get on the left hand side here and try and hold this left line here to open up this right hander coming up. You want to think of this as a section of about 3 corners, not 1 corner. So coming in, you want to brake just before the end of this curb, so about a car length before the end. Make sure you're right on the left hand side of the track, braking about a car length before the end of the curb. Keep it in 3rd gear and try and get a late apex for this right hander. Open it up as much as you can. You can let it go out wide. You can use a little bit of this curbing, but obviously you don't want to use too much because it's very easy to go onto the grass there. And then try and bring it back over to the right hand side for this hairpin. Now a lot of different drivers take different lines to this. You kind of want to brake for this right hander. You want to brake again just after the end of that curb there, as you see, just after the end of that curb you want to brake for this right hander. Bring it down into 2nd gear and just try and follow the line as much as you can. You can use the camber of the corner or slow it down a bit as well, but just try and be smooth and try and get the later apex. As you see here, get this late apex, so you're kind of apexing the corner at the end of the curbing. That allows you to, as you see, get on the power nice and early and get a good exit, because it's quite a long straight after this. Just be careful because it's very easy to get a bit of wheel spin, so depending on your car and setup you might need to short shift into 3rd. Here fairly simple, you just want to follow it, it's full throttle, just be careful you don't clip the curbing. Then coming into this right hander, this is a bit tricky because you don't see the apex until quite late into the corner. So you want to brake just at this end of the barrier here where this red marker is, or you could use the start of this run-off road, whatever is easier. Coming into this right hander though, again, not holding the brakes for too long. This is quite a fast corner, but this is where you will need the downforce. And just try and follow the corner around again. This is where you want to apex, but it's such a long corner that you just kind of want to hold your line. And then, as you see, once you start to see the curbing, you can let the car start to drift out wide. You can use this runoff just after the curb, but I find with the McLaren anyway, it unsettles it a bit. but some cars like the Porsche or the BMW, you would probably be able to use a lot more curbing there. And then coming into this fast right-hander, you've really got to send it coming into here. Again, there isn't any real braking boards, which is annoying, but this is where I brake, so it's, let's see if we have a look at one of the other views. It's about a car length after that white line, as you see, maybe a car length and a half after that white line. So you want to brake there, drop it into third gear, and just try and do it as smooth as possible. You want to aim for the apex here and clip this curbing, but it's very easy to overdo it and just spin off here. So you just want to try and be as smooth as possible. As you see, coasting a bit until you get to that apex, then you know you can floor it. And just be careful. See here, I get a little bit of a slide, but don't go too wide. You want to try and make sure you're exiting the corner so you're ending up near this curbing here, because if you do it slightly too much and you go wider than this curbing, you're going to touch the grass and you basically just go straight into the wall. So for the races, this is probably one of your most high risk corners, because you've got to send it to be quick, but if you overdo it, it's very easy to bin it. Again, for this right-hander hairpin, there isn't really any braking boards here. This is just where I brake. You've just got to kind of feel for yourself. The track does start to go darker here, but there isn't really any braking boards here, which is a bit annoying. There's this sign here which I guess you can use as well, but as you can see, that's probably at least 3 car lengths or so ahead of us, maybe 2. So yeah, that's the only thing for this right-hander. There isn't a braking board, but with this one you just want to try and get a late apex and open the corner up as much as you can. It's very easy to go too slow into this right-hander. You have to actually realise how much runoff there is and how much speed you can take into the corner. So this does take a bit of practice, but here, bring it down into second gear. As you see, a bit of coasting if you braked slightly too early. And then here, you want to apex just at the end of this curbing here on the right hand side. But you look over here, this is your exit curbing. So you want to really open up this corner as much as you can, because you can pretty much go all the way up to that curbing. So just open up that hairpin as much as you can. Coming into this left-hander, you want to brake just before this orange marker on the barrier, maybe a car length or so. Same as the last hairpin, it's a very wide one. So again, as you see, very late apex here, clipping the late apex here, and then making sure that we aim for that runoff, that exit curbing here, just to open it up as much as you can. Now coming into this hairpin now, you want to brake around about this 100 meter board, or just before that curbing there. As you see here, braking pretty much in line with the 100 meter board, about a car length before this curbing on the left hand side. You really want to trail brake as much as you can to keep the grip in the car. Aim for this curbing, clipping a bit of the curbing. Be careful though, with some cars you can take this curb and some cars you can't. Does depend on your setup there. I just clipped a little part of the curb because the McLaren can't take that high curbing. And then for this, another wee sharp hairpin. So this one you can pretty much just follow around, and then when you get to just after the apex, around about halfway through that hairpin, you want to smash the throttle and aim for this exit curbing. That exit curb is very high, so I don't recommend putting a wheel over it unless you've got a setup that allows you to do that without losing too much grip. And then coming into the final corner, this one's really important just to keep the speed up. Looking for about the 50 meter board. As you see here, you want to brake about a car length or so after that 50 meter board. Brake it down into third, coast into the apex a little bit, half throttle when you get to the apex, until you can see that you're going to make the exit curbing, and then you can just smash the throttle down as early as possible, because you're not going to brake until the next lap again. So try and get that throttle down as early as possible. You can use this curbing, but again there is gravel just after that tiny bit of runoff, so do be careful you don't go too wide. And then here you kind of just want to apex it around about that curb there and then let it drift out wide. Don't put too much steering into it because that will just scrub off speed. And that is the lap all done there. As you see, that was 1:34.752. That was, I did that in the offline hot lap mode. So now what we'll do is we'll have a look at the hot lap without me talking through it. If you guys do enjoy this style of track guide, let me know in the comments so I know whether or not to do the next track guide in this style or the old style. Just let me know in the comments.
Exhausted.